Hey folks, welcome back to the Rockford Ordnance. I'm Chris, your host, and we're bringing you a category sort of firearms today that maybe doesn't pique the interest as much as some of the new cool tactical stuff. But with deer season here, actually it starts here in Wisconsin on Saturday. We're going to be doing some hunting, and had kind of a dilemma picking what rifle to use. So wanted to go through that and show you these at the same time. A lot of heritage, a lot of tradition in deer hunting, right? Well, same thing here in our family. I've hunted for 40 years with this Winchester Model 94 30-30. These rifles, there's probably going to be more of these in the field on Saturday than any other rifle in the country, right? It's just the quintessential deer rifle, in my opinion. This was the second firearm I ever received. My shotgun was first, and then on my 15th or 16th birthday, my father bought me this, Kmart, $99 for a Winchester Model 94. Basic as it gets, but just a beautiful firearm. I've kept it really well. You looking at it, you think, well, that's a safe queen. Well, nope. It goes out every year with me. I think 37 seasons, something like that. Maybe missed one or two here and there. But yeah, deer season's upon us, and I thought I'd break it out. What better time to show you this gun? So, plastic butt plate. I don't know if it, probably not Bakelite, just plastic. U.S. walnut, black walnut, beautiful wood. Winchester always has that red tint to it, and with the camera lighting here for the set, it really pulls it out. And normally without the lighting, it doesn't look quite as red as it does here, but that's part of the Winchester thing, right? Lever action, so you cock, load, and eject a shell by working the lever action, for the one or two of you that don't know that. Safety on this is the lever action itself, of course, your brain, and there's a half cock position on it. So if you have a shell loaded in, or when you cock it in the first round after loading it, you can carefully grab the hammer and lower it down to the half cock position. It's just a good place to keep it while you're in your stand or whatever. And if you do a little practice, you can kind of pull the trigger and the hammer simultaneously, so you don't get a click. Pull it back and then let off the trigger and set the hammer down, and the deer won't even hear the click. Otherwise you get a little bit of a click. I'll show you. Even if you're doing it light, you get something. So there's half cock. You know, you'll get some noise. So you can do it where you really get nothing. Anyhow, just a little trick. But it's loaded through a side gate here. You can see that. There's a gate here, and you push the bullets in. This, I believe, holds 6+1 or 7+1 in 30-30. These came in a few other calibers too, but 30-30 was the most popular. Semi buckhorn sights, they are adjustable. And this gun shoots right on. It's got a hooded front sight. A lot of people take these hoods off, and I did for a lot of years. It just, back then it seemed to me it was easier to obtain a front sight, but it really doesn't bother me now. And I did have one year where I had ice freeze on it, and it messed me up. With the hood, at least you're not getting that. Walnut front handguard. These guns are pretty smooth. Even when you get them, they're pretty smooth, but this one's been worked in quite a bit. I normally shoot Federal 160 or 180 grain through this, brush busters, I call them. Up here we rarely get a shot over 50 yards probably, and this is just fine. I remember getting it as a kid, and I wanted nothing more than to put a scope on this. And with the Winchester, it ejects out the top, up and over your head, right? So you can't really mount a scope up there. So they made side mounts that mounted to it, and it offset the scope a little, allowing the cartridge to eject still. And I remember wanting one so bad, and my dad said, yeah, you really don't need that, and this and that. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized he was probably right for the type of hunting we were doing. And that side mount, while I don't mind the side mount, hey, AK, right? It is kind of weird having the scope off to the side like that. So I never did put a scope on it. It's like it was the day it came. And I thought this would just be another year of, yep, go hunting and whatever the plan was. For those of you that don't know, I lost my son a couple months ago. And he was going to hunt with this year, and I was going to hunt with a new rifle I have. And I thought about buying him a new one, but I thought, why not give him this since I had this other one, and he could then pass it down again. But yeah, we're going to be hunting alone this year. Didn't end up putting anything together with friends or anything, so just going to go up to the back 40 here and sit down and see what we see. Got a little deer blind. We've got a tree stand out there that we had got. It's been up there 30 years probably, between 3 birch trees, and over the years it's kind of, the birch have grown, and it's, you know, they sway in the wind and things pull, and we me and my son redid it a few years ago, but it's being up there alone, I don't know that I want to take the chance of falling out of a tree and nobody finding me. So we're going to do a little ground blind type of deal. We got it set up right over here actually in the shop, and see what we see. There's, we've got like 7 acres, and there's kind of a lowland cedar, lowland kind of marshy area, probably covers 40 acres behind us. And then neighbors' properties, a few, 5 here, 5 there, and we can hunt those too. And yeah, we'll see what we get. You never know. Anyhow, I thought it a perfect time to bring these out. Now, my dilemma is, do I shoot this or do I shoot the new rifle? Let me show you the new rifle. Did I cover everything on this? I think so. Tubular magazine. You load them in the side gate. Told you we shoot, you know, 160, 180 grain soft points. And yeah, super nice, thin, really light. If you're doing a drive or something, or heck, just walking through the woods, it's just so easy and so light and maneuverable. 20-inch barrel, so it develops nice velocities, and never a problem putting a deer down with 30-30. So yeah, it's just a very familiar rifle to me. I don't have to even think about it. Shoulders nicely, you pick up the sights quick, easy to operate, and you know, if you happen to miss up here, if you miss, you're probably not getting a second shot, but you know, it's quick. Hey, I consider these the world's first assault weapon, right? Higher capacity and quick, right? Anyhow, let's show you what I'm thinking about doing here. If I can put this aside without making a mess here. So it started with this actually. I had bought a Henry, what do they call this? Big Boy or Golden Boy. Golden Boy they call this. It is a lever action 22. Look how beautiful this is. Henry does a magnificent job. Everything is made in America, down to the last screw. U.S. walnut from all over the country, brass castings, you name it, it's just gorgeous. This is 22 long rifle, and I just had to have one. It's got an octagon barrel. This thing sounds like a Swiss watch. I hope this comes through right. Listen to this, guys. Incredible. So smooth. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. One finger. Just absolutely, I marvel at this piece of art. That's what it is. Brass butt plate, American walnut, brass casting. Now, the receivers are hardened brass, so don't think, oh, they're softer, they can't handle heavier loads in the bigger calibers. They're just fine. Kind of neat, you got a half cock on the 22, just like the 30-30, and then full cock. So there's half cock, full cock. So you can do the same thing. You can put one in, lower it down to half cock, and you're safe for walking through the woods, whatever. If you drop it, no big deal. And then when you're ready, you can simply pull it back and you're good to go. Full buckhorn sights. Nice barrels, octagon barrel, adds some weight to it, and it really settles nice. Probably the finest, most well-made, real gun as far as 22 calibers go that I've ever come across. You know, some 22s can feel like polymer, plastic, light, just not like a real gun feels as far as weight and all that. Well, that's not the case with this. This feels just like any other. It is a little hard to get a good cheek weld with this particular one. I got to kind of do a chin weld with it. But either way, the sighting system's nice. Brass dot up front, full buckhorn in the back, adjustable for windage and elevation. And this white triangle I like. It is reversible. If you don't like the white triangle, you can take it out, flip it over, and you just got black there. Unlike its big brothers, the side plates on these 22s are separate. They screw on, and yeah, here you can see here. They screw on, and they're finely finished, and then they're clear coated. So scratches, that type of thing, it makes it easier to take care of. And if you do scratch one or something, you can pop them off and get replacements for it. But you got to be careful. I use nothing but chamois for it, and this is actually a chamois meant for fine leather, but works out really well. I keep good track of that. Don't let anything get on it, because you can get even fine swirl marks in the brass or the covers on this. And if you're one like me that likes to keep things nice, well, that's what you do. Don't get me wrong, I use them. I use this gun a lot. I love it. The way you load it is it's got a tubular magazine, and like the 30-30 has a side loading gate. It's been kind of one of the things that people complain about with Henry is they don't have a side gate. Well, Henry's fixed that. They now offer guns with side plates or side gates for loading, but you can still get the other ones. And frankly, I kind of like how the Henry is. Although, if you want to top off a tubular mag or add more rounds real quick, it's much easier with a side gate. So anyhow, you twist this to unlock it, you pull it up, and you drop, there's the follower, if you can see the orange follower there. Let's see. There you go, there's the orange follower. And you pull it up high enough, drop the bullets in until one is showing, and then drop it down. Line up the pin with the slot here, right there, and then just twist, and it locks in. That's simple. Cock one in, you're ready to go. And it works flawlessly. Anyhow, I said this led to something. I loved this so much, and at the time I was getting into cowboy action shooting, that I wanted to get its big brother. And the big brother is called the Big Boy in Henry's lineup. And I ended up finding one accidentally. So here it is. This is a Henry Big Boy in 45 Colt, or 45 Long Colt as some people refer to it. Pretty much the same gun, just bigger, heavier. Still just as smooth. Not quite the watch-like effect as that one, but very smooth. I think I've cleaned this gun once and oiled it once, and it's had a lot of rounds through it, and it's still so smooth. It just, I mean, just wonderful. Same thing, American walnut. Every last screw in this gun is made in America. There is no part on this gun not made in the US, and that's awesome. Same brass plate, same walnut stock. The only thing different, no half cock on this. There is a transfer bar though, I believe. I'll have to check on that. I'm not positive, I don't remember. Nice trigger. Solid brass casting. The thing with 45 long Colt is it was a pistol round originally, and when it comes to original first, second, third generation Colt single action army revolvers, they can't hold the pressures that some of today's rounds and powders can produce. So when you're loading 45 Colt for an original pistol, or even replicas and even the new Vaqueros, you got to keep it within the range of what the books say. Most books will have two loadings. They'll have one for the original pistols and the copies, and then another one usually labeled under Ruger, or I'm sorry, there's a Thompson Contender, I believe it is, and the Ruger Blackhawk pistols, and those can hold the higher pressures, so you can really crank those rounds up. There's also rifle loadings they usually give you, and just about any rifle from a Winchester, these Henrys, can handle just about anything, even, you know, some of that buffalo bore stuff. I've loaded these things all the way up to 11.5 grains of unique behind a 250 grain plated bullet, and I'll show you one right here. So that's a 250 grain Barry's plated bullet, Winchester Magnum pistol primers, and 11.5 grains of unique. Also use 2400, which is another good powder for it, but you don't want to use these in your pistol. I usually mark the primers for them. This is not one of the hot loads right now, but I usually mark the primers so I don't run them through my Vaquero. Anyhow, we're getting between 11 and 1200 feet per second out of these things, and that's trucking on a big old bullet like this. When you hear that thing hit, it's a thwack. I mean, it's moving out. It's no joke. Anyhow, 20-inch barrel, 16-to-1 twist, and same type of tubular magazine. Just click it over, lift it up, load them in, put it back down, lock it in, and you're good to go. So that's about it. Some people say, oh, I don't like the tubular magazine, I'm putting my hand over the muzzle, you know. Well, here, you don't have to be over the muzzle. You can turn it, put it up, load your bullets, and be fine. Besides, when you're loading it, you're loading it. You're not putting one in the chamber. You're not, nothing. I mean, you can even do it if you like with the action open. So that's, I don't buy that argument. Not a big deal. Anyhow, the dilemma is, which do we shoot this year? I'm loading up some rounds for this and just thinking, do I shoot this for deer season or do I shoot the 30-30? Plan was for my son to shoot the 30-30 and I shoot this. Have not taken a deer with this yet. I know it can put a deer down the ground. It can't do it as efficiently as that 30-30 in the ranges we're talking about. Again, no longer than 50 yards, very heavily wooded kind of situation. So that's what I am trying to determine, and I guess we'll let the range kind of call that. We're going to go make sure the 30-30 is still on from last year and test out these loads we're shooting in this, and maybe we'll let that decide it. Or maybe you guys can comment if I get this out in time and tell me what you would like to see. I thought it cool while we have these out to show the companions to these. So as a companion to the Golden Boy in 22, we have a Heritage 22 single action. And really, these guns are dirt cheap, 150 bucks maybe. And what's cool about them is they're not exact copies of a single action, but certain things are really neat. So here's something that's not. There's a safety here. When you see the red, it's fire. When it's up, it won't fire. And all it does is it puts a firing pin block in the way. So even though I can drop the hammer, it's not hitting the firing pin. So if I want to take it off safe, I just flip the lever back, and now it can come all the way forward and strike the edge of that rimfire case. The cool thing though is it's got 4 clicks like a single action. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Vaqueros only have 3, and it always kind of bothered me. I like having the 4. Loading gate, just like it. You put it on half cock, and you can go through and load one at a time. Like the old Westerns, right? You check, see if it's loaded. You just run it down your arm, rotate it, see that there's a bullet in each cylinder, flip the gate shut, and you're ready to go. Really a cool gun. Ejector here, just like the real deal. Nice looking, I don't think these are like Coca-Cola or something. Nice handles. Cheaply made gun, but very accurate, and it's extremely reliable. It's never failed. So it's always kind of cool to have a matching caliber sidearm, right? So I thought this went along really well with that Henry Golden Boy. Now, for the Henry Big Boy, by the way, they make these in steel too, which are kind of neat. For the Henry Big Boy, we've got a Big Boy rig to go along with it. And tell me this isn't gorgeous, guys. Huh? Look at that. This is my Cowboy rig. This is a Ruger New Vaquero in 45 long Colt. The holster, if you can see here, has a little thong that goes over the hammer to hold it in while you're riding or running or whatever, so it doesn't bounce out. So what they would do is flick that thong off and draw the gun, right? And yeah, kind of cool. The holster, let me get some room here, has the belt to hold the cartridges and everything. It's the double belt that this slides on the inside like that, and then you would buckle it. It hangs down from your regular belt down the side a little bit. You can wear it however you like it, whatever's comfortable for your draw height. And then there's another thong to tie the holster off to your leg, so when you draw, it's not coming up. Because these holsters hung from a leather back piece. This is all kind of original styling, guys, and all really nicely done. And I like wearing it when I'm out deer hunting. I really do. It's comfortable, it works well, and I enjoy it. As far as the Vaquero, 45 Colt, 45 long Colt, as some say, loading gate. You can, again, check it. And while you do have, you know, detents, you don't have 4. 1, 2, 3. Transfer bar, and no half cock on this. So, but it is smooth as glass, probably from 90 hours of dry firing. I have dry fired this weapon like you wouldn't believe. Ejector, this is to release the pin to take the cylinder out of it. What's to say about Vaqueros? They're just great guns, right? Lockup is okay. I don't know, little movement back and forth and sideways. I don't know. Anyhow, pretty basic, just high polished stainless and good looking gun. Shoots very well. So kind of cool to have, you know, a sidearm in the same caliber as your rifle or carbine. So thought it was a cool time to take them out and show you what we do as far as that. I'm going to finish up loading some bullets for this. We've got some Hornady FTX hollow points and 250 grains, and we're going to get these things trucking, go to the range and see what works out, and we'll make our decision. Hope you like this portion of it and the guns. Maybe you have an opinion as to what I should use, but we're going to head over to the range, have a little fun, and then we'll come back and wrap this thing up. Well, folks, we are back from the range, and unfortunately, we got such a late start after loading bullets and all, getting everything packed up, and a long ride to the club, that it was so dark when I got there we didn't get any footage. However, I did get there in time to put a quick target up. We put the headlights high beams on the target, and we got a handful of rounds in. So the first round we shot 4 rounds. Let me think. Oh yeah, that's right. So this is correct. I shot 4 rounds. I just, you know, as always when doing a new round, I knew this gun holds some serious pressure and shoots better the hotter the load I go, but just to be safe, I held the gun kind of down here and let one go, see how things went, and it was fine. So put the next, what was it, 3 rounds or 4 rounds on paper, and then loaded another 5 and did that. So 9 rounds altogether on paper, and we were shooting 250 grain XTP Hornady rounds backed by 17.5 grains of Alliant powder. This 2400 is it's Magnum handgun powder. It says great for 357s, 41 and 44 Magnum high velocity loads. Well, it happens to work really well with 45 Colt, and we backed it up with a WLP Winchester primer, which is you can use it for regular loads or Magnum loads, but that's kind of a hot round for this rifle, and it's probably coming out of there somewhere around 1250 feet per second, and it just shot really well. Hardly any recoil. Just a nice solid round, man. I mean, you could just tell it's a hard-hitting round. So here's what happened. I'm going to circle these on this target. I brought the target back for you to see at least. And here's what happened. So on the bench, on the bench, the first one was these 4. Here, that was resting the barrel on a bag and no rear bag. And then we shot another 5 rounds, and those were from standing, and this is about 50 yards. Standing, just, standing aiming, not supported, unsupported. And 1, 2, 3, and this is 2 through 1 hole. 4, 5. So all in all, not bad. I mean, standing in the dark with headlights on a target, that's what I did, and it was much darker when I shot the second group. Now, it's obviously off to the right a little bit. I'm gonna have to make an adjustment, but tell you what, I can actually go hunting just like this because I'm not getting a shot further away than that. but because I'm a little OCD, I'm going to correct it. But hey, that's a pretty nice little group there in the dark. Keep in mind, I was running, huffing, puffing, adrenaline's up. I'm just trying to get set up, throw a few rounds down and leave. And I actually had to like catch my breath, you know, by the second shot and kind of calm myself down. But I know I could have done much better had I been able to see the target in the dark and all of that. But hey, that's probably, we can measure it real quick, but I'm going to guess 2 inches at 50 yards, so that's about 4 MOA. Just winging it real fast like that. I know it could be, you know, 2 MOA or 1 MOA like nothing with normal conditions. But yeah, it went just fine. And I'm really liking this. The only thing I like better, I think, about the Winchester is its lightweight and handiness. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know if I'd say this is heavy or not. I mean, yeah, the barrel's heavy, but it's still handy, and it's not heavy by any means, and it settles nicely. I think we're gonna hunt with this. I'm pretty sure. Not 100%, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna hunt with this. I didn't get to throw any downrange in the 30-30, and I had brought the handguns too. I wanted to shoot some out of them. Just so much fun. But it cycled them flawlessly. I tried to cycle them fast when I was doing the standing shooting, and it worked great. So looking forward to it. We will be able to get a couple downrange the day before the season starts. I can go out to another local range here if it's not overwhelmed, and see if we can't get this punched a little to the right. And that'll do it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed just hearing me babble kind of what's going on in my head about deer season and the decisions I'm making. And hey, we'll have some fun. So wish me luck. We'll see how the season goes. We're only going to hunt a couple days. Saturday, Sunday, I think. Maybe Monday. I got to be back to work Monday. So Saturday, Sunday. And hey, that'll do it. Little time to clear my head. Little time to reflect on things in the last year, and have some nice thoughts about my son. Kind of still is spending time with him when I'm out there, because that's all I'll be thinking about, I'm sure. But it's good. It's good for me, I think. I haven't given myself a lot of time on this, and I keep myself so busy, so I don't have to think about it much, you know. But maybe this will be good. So it's just gonna be me, quiet, a lot of time on my hands, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So who knows? Maybe he'll be that little luck on my shoulder, and a nice big boy will step out into the clearing, huh? Before dark for once. Anyhow, yeah, it's gonna be fun. And if I can, I'll bring some footage along. Maybe we'll do a fireside chat. How's that sound? And we'll go from there. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking it out. Please hit the like button if you like this type of video. And make sure you subscribe, share it with some friends. That's how the channel grows. And make sure you hit the notification button so you get a notification when we're doing it. Hey, maybe I'll get some live stream going. We will see you soon. And as always, Rockford Ordnance